Hi, I'm Jay. Today we're taking a look at the new Viltrox 85mm F1.4 Pro. And I've gotta be honest, when I first heard about this lens, I wasn't wondering how sharp it was. Most modern lenses are sharp. I wanted to know whether Viltrox had managed to create an 85 that photographers would genuinely choose over more established options, because that's a much tougher challenge. I've always liked shooting with 85s. There's a reason almost every portrait photographer owns one. The focal length just works. You don't have to stand too close. You don't have to shout instructions from the other side of the street. It's a comfortable distance. And more importantly, it's a flattering perspective. Looking at this lens, it's pretty clear Viltrox isn't aiming for the budget market here. The build feels solid. The aperture ring has a nice feel to it. You've got custom controls, weather sealing, and overall, it feels like a lens designed for people who actually use their gear every day. One thing I noticed straight away was the weight. At around 800 grams, it's not exactly a lightweight setup, but honestly, that's becoming pretty normal for high-end portrait lenses these days. And if the image quality is there, most photographers are willing to make that trade. The specs look impressive. Fast f1.4 aperture, VCM autofocus motor, 11 aperture blades, plenty of glass packed inside. But the funny thing about photography is, nobody ever looks at a great portrait and asks how many lens elements were used to make it. People react to the image, the expression, the mood, the connection. So rather than spend 10 minutes talking about specifications, I took the lens out and shot with it. Because that's where every lens earns its place. And before we get into the photos, if you're into photography, portraits, gear reviews, and behind-the-scenes content from someone who's actually out there shooting, consider subscribing. I'm planning to share a lot more of that here. Now let's get to the interesting part, the images. Looking through these photos, the first thing that stood out to me was the subject separation. That's really where an 85 shines. You can shoot in a busy environment and still make the viewer focus exactly where you want them to. The backgrounds stay soft. The transition into blur feels natural. And at f1.4, there's definitely plenty of depth to work with. What I like most though, is that the lens doesn't draw attention to itself. And I mean that as a compliment. When I'm looking through these images, I'm not thinking about the lens. I'm thinking about the person in the frame. And for portrait photography, that's exactly how it should be. That's usually when you know a piece of equipment is doing its job. So where does the Viltrox 85mm F1.4 Pro sit in the market? Honestly, it feels like Viltrox is no longer trying to be the affordable alternative. They're trying to be part of the main conversation. And after spending some time with this lens, I think they've got a good argument. Let me know what you think of the images in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.